eventually open the doors to residents in the time that it would typically take to entitle a project of this size. So we have today, literally today, people are moving into this development, and this would not be possible. We are moving people in years ahead of what would otherwise have happened without SB 35. We are proud to be one of the first developments to use SB 35 in San Francisco, and we will be eternally grateful to Senator Scott Wiener for championing this legislation and its extension, SB 423. So we want to use this tool to accelerate housing delivery in California. As you are all aware, SB 35 has been successfully used across the state since its inception to entitle thousands of homes that are now in construction and homes that are now being made available to residents, just like this development here today. This legislation was set to expire without an extension, and without that, one of the driving forces of affordable housing production would have been lost. Under SB 423, SB 35 will be extended to ensure that one of our state's primary mechanisms for encouraging and streamlining affordable housing production remains in place. So again, it is my honor and my pleasure to welcome, and I hope you all join me in welcoming Senator Scott Wiener.
So, we passed SB 423 on the governor's desk. You know, I just, first of all, when I was running for the Senate in 2016, there were some people who said to me, why on earth would you want to go to the state legislature? There's nothing you can do on housing there. You should stay local. And I said, I think you're wrong, and I'm going to try to prove you wrong. And I think we've been able to prove those folks wrong. I think they're happy to have been proven wrong. And you know, I introduced SB 35. It was the first bill I introduced. I introduced it on the day that I was sworn in to the legislature, and I was told that a bill like this can never pass. A bill that basically tells cities that you have to set the rules ahead of time, and if someone follows your rules, you have to give them the permit in a matter of months, not years. That you can't put them through years of endless hearings and appeals and lawsuits, that you have to just give them the damn permit now. And we got the bill passed, and we're gonna make it even better with SB 423 and even stronger with SB 423. And SB 35, just in San Francisco, has expedited permitting for more than 3,000 new homes in this city, just in the city of San Francisco. And when SB 423 kicks in just a few months from now, in early 2024, because we are having it take effect pretty much immediately in San Francisco, because San Francisco needs a little extra help. We've seen what's been happening at City Hall with projects like Stevenson Street and that project with the townhomes on Nob Hill getting knocked down because of completely frivolous applications of CEQA. We've seen this politicization of housing where every project gets relitigated endlessly for years and years. That's not going to be the case anymore in San Francisco. The era of saying no to housing is over. It's ending in San Francisco, and it's ending in the state of California. And for far too long, we have in California and in San Francisco, we have not had the sense of urgency around housing that we have needed so desperately. And we now are going to have that sense of urgency. Because fundamentally, housing is about people. It's about the people who are living in their cars. It's about the thousands of children in San Francisco Unified School District who are homeless, thousands of children in our own school district. It's about the working families who are leaving San Francisco and continue to get pushed out because they do not see a future for their family in this city. It's about the young people, the dreamers, the innovators, the artists who come here because of what San Francisco stands for and struggle so mightily with housing and all too often have to leave. We want this city to be a diverse place. San Francisco must be a place of diversity where all sorts of people can live here, and we will only make that happen if we have enough housing for everyone who needs it, and that's what this bill is about. So I am so proud of the coalition behind SB 423. When we thought, I've been thinking for a few years, you know, SB 35 is going to expire. We need to reauthorize it. We want to make it even better. And I knew it was going to be hard. But I want to tell you what the game changer was. The game changer was when our brothers and sisters of the carpenters came forward and said, let's get it done. I cannot overemphasize, not just for this bill, but for housing policy in general in the Capitol, what a game changer it has been to have the carpenters, Northern California, Southern California unite, come together, engage, and say, you know what? We need millions of new homes. We need to make sure that the people building those homes are not living in poverty and not being robbed of their wages and that they have health care. And we want to partner with you and with this coalition to get it done. It's been a game changer. So to the California Conference of Carpenters, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. But this coalition is even broader, and I want to thank our brothers and sisters and the operating engineers and the laborers for engaging and being willing to stand up and lock arms and be part of our coalition. I want to thank the California Housing Consortium and the Inner City Law Center, the California YIMBY for uniting with us as sponsors of the bill. And our partners at YIMBY Action for being here and really spearheading this event today. And really YIMBY Action helping build a movement throughout the country, a national movement. I was out in Hawaii a few months ago, and I met with the YIMBY Action affiliate in Hawaii. This is a national movement, and I'm so proud of the people who are building this movement. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It is now my honor to bring up Danny Curtin, the director of the California Conference of Carpenters. Danny.
Thank you so much, but let me be honest, the honor is mine. Be up here with Scott Wiener, the leadership here that we see in this coalition. We had the mayor in there early, Bill Whitty from the related developers, Jay Hill Construction. I'm honored to be here, to be quite honest. But I also want to say I'm extraordinarily privileged to be up here. I have the wonderful task in life of representing the people you see behind me, the ones who actually build things like this from the ground up. And I couldn't be any more happy than anybody on this, right here and on this planet, to do the work I do for this crew right here behind me. So let me start with that. But I got to tell you, I was here before he got to the state senate, and I know a lot of politicians. This guy is incredibly determined. He doesn't take no for an answer. He'll get a no, but then he comes back the next day, and guess what? Wall's starting to move again. Incredibly determined, and amazingly, and a very politically talented deal maker. And I say that in the best way possible. I want you to understand how hard these bills were to pass, and I believe the carpenters brought something to the table. But the fact of the matter is, SB, I don't know about SB 35, I think so, but SB 423 was a bipartisan bill in a town that is not bipartisan by any stretch of the imagination. That is credit to Senator Scott Wiener. We got quite a few diverse folks, let's put it that way. Coming to this groundbreaking, a little bit of an eye-opener for me, being in Sacramento. The the actual, what this building means is a lot more than just a really wonderful building. We were told in there that this may be the most diverse community in America. And, that's a pretty big claim. But if you're in America, if this is the most diverse community in America, I can almost guarantee you it is probably the most diverse community in the world. Because that's what America is, diverse community that somehow manages to come together. Having said that, let me just make a couple of quick observations. This building, the way it got put together, the politics, the community work, the labor movement, the business community, is an example. That's what this country needs, where the workers who are actually building the building are getting paid good wages, health care, and can afford to live in the buildings they are building. That's a testament to everybody here. Again, I give a shout out to Related Developer, Cahill, by the way, a 100-year-old company that's been building in the Bay Area for 100 years. That is something to behold. We all know the housing crisis, how horrible, how terrible. Living in the streets is the everyday testimony. But we can build our way out of the housing crisis. And we can build our way out of the housing crisis in a way that helps rebuild the middle class, the blue-collar, working middle class, by a decent wage, again, health care, training, skills. That's how you do it. This is not just a beautiful building to behold, and by the way, it is quite stunning. Anywhere you look at it, the setting, all of it. It's a model. It's actually the formula for how we have to move forward in America. Everybody coming together in the community, a labor, business, community, coalition, all moving in the same direction. Everybody benefits. So I thank all of you for being here. I thank all of you behind us for building this thing and you putting the politics together. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Before I bring our next speaker, I also just want to acknowledge, I have the honor of chairing the Senate Housing Committee. I want to acknowledge and thank my counterpart in the Assemblymember Buffy Wicks, who is just a true force of nature. And she came to me early in the year and she said, I have my own bill. She said, but my number one priority bill is getting SB 423 passed. And she went to the bat. So Assemblymember Wicks, she couldn't be here today, but I want to thank her in absentia. Next, I want to bring up the Executive Director of YIMBY Action, Laura Flood.
All right. I'm going to keep it short because we all know what a building like this means somewhere in our, in our lizard brain. We can look up at this building and say 131 families are going to call this home. They are going to live in actual housing that was out of reach for far too long. Affordable housing cannot wait. We cannot continue to dawdle while Californians live in poverty. We cannot afford to have endless hearings where we relitigate the decision we have already made, the commitment that our society has made. We must house every single person in America. It is intolerable that we are living with a chronic, self-imposed housing shortage, and it has to end. And when we look at this building, we can say, what happens when you say yes? When you put aside all of the reasons, all of the small reasons we might individually have to have questions, to say, I'm not sure, when we can find in ourselves the larger yes, when we can say there is opportunity and hope for everyone and we can make room for literally every single person in America. We can say yes. We can build the future we want to see. It can be an inclusive vision for every single person if we commit to that vision together, if we find it in ourselves to honestly, to love one another instead of being afraid of one another. What is happening right now on our streets is causing people to be afraid of homelessness, and it causes them to fear the housing that is the solution to this crisis. We cannot be afraid of the solutions to our problems, and they involve larger buildings. They're not so scary. Okay? they're not so scary, I swear. And when we live together, we find out what is wonderful about one another. We find that when people are living in stable housing, they find what is wonderful in themselves. They reach their full potential as individuals. There is a vision that we need to grab hold of here and say yes to housing, yes to people, yes to a future of abundance. So I hope I can count on all of you to continue this fight. I want to give the next speaker, or do you want to introduce them? Okay. Madi from Inner City Law Center has been an incredible ally on this. There are people who have been fighting in the equity community for opportunity for everyone. And I want to just shout out, Inner City Law Center is one of these incredible organizations that says we need more housing for every single person. They've been on the ground. Madi, come take it away.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. My name is Matthew Bungie. I'm the Director of Public Policy for Inner City Law Center. We're Los Angeles Skid Row pro bono legal service provider. We provide legal services to folks who are homeless, folks at risk of homelessness all around LA County. Only housing ends homelessness. Only housing ends homelessness. And SB 423 will continue to make affordable housing like this beautiful building possible. So we're really proud to sponsor this bill, really proud Tonight, more than 115,000 people will be sleeping on the streets in California. More than 1 million households throughout the state will be struggling to meet their housing costs, to balance the cost of transportation, to balance the cost of housing. We believe that in the richest country, in the richest state, we can do better. We can make sure that every city does its fair share and build enough affordable housing, build enough fixed income housing. And SB 423 will do just that. So we're so proud to stand with Carpenters, with Cal Yimbey Action, Senator Wiener, to support this bill, to sponsor this bill, and we really hope that Governor Newsom will sign this bill very, very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcy. Next, we have just part of our great coalition. I want to bring up Marina Wyant, who's the Vice President of Government Affairs for the California Housing Consortium.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Senator. It's such an honor to be here today, and I was proud to work with Senator Wiener as co-sponsor of SB 423 this year. This bill achieves one simple goal. It's going to make it a lot easier to build more affordable housing in California. Caputo is an amazing example of seeing the legislation be put to work. And it is an example of just 131 units of the over 13,000 affordable units that have already been approved due to the work of SB 35. And this is a real full circle moment for me. My grandparents were immigrants 80 years ago, settled here in San Francisco, just over the little hill over there in the Sunset District. My grandpa was a blue-collar union worker, and built a life for our family here. And every day I get reminded of the work that I do at the California Housing Consortium and why I do this work. But it's never more poignant than when I get to stand in front of one of the buildings that one of our members, in this case related, helped put together. Because I live in policy world. We work on policies like SB 423. We work on funding, like the federal and state funding that was used to build this project. But it really comes to light when I get to stand in front of it and see it before my eyes and remind me of why we do the work we do, why it's so important for us to continue to advance legislation like SB 423, to continue to fight for federal, state, and local funding that is critical for getting these projects to fruition. And so, again, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for our broad coalition of folks who are here today, who are working in Sacramento, who are calling their legislators and encouraging them to support legislation like SB 423. And I'm honored to introduce Jordan Panana Carvajal with the California Yimbey, who has been a wonderful partner on this bill. I've really enjoyed working with him and his organization this year. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone, my name is Jordan Panena Carvajal. I serve advocate for California YIMBY, and I first want to thank Senator Wiener for his leadership while authoring one of the most significant and most impactful housing bill of the year. California YIMBY is grateful to have had the opportunity to work in close partnership with Senator Wiener, the carpenters, and co-sponsors at SB 423. The success of SB 423 emphasizes the growing momentum of the coalition of labor and pro-housing advocates who are coming together behind these types of policies with a shared vision to find solutions to the state's housing shortage and affordability crisis. SB 423 will accomplish two important things: expand the provisions of SB 35 to include mixed income housing developments, and include prevailing wage and health benefits to the workforce building these homes. SB 35 has a proven track record of successfully building critically needed affordable housing in cities across the state. SB 423 doubles down on the success, but importantly expands and enhances the provisions to make it faster to build the housing we urgently need for Californians of all incomes. California YIMBY is proud to have been a co-sponsor of SB 423, and we're honored to be part of the growing coalition focus on making California more affordable and accessible to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and again, thank you from the bottom of my heart to our entire amazing coalition. And with that, that concludes our event here today. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.